Geordie from Geordie Colours. Thank you so much for joining me. I am here doing something a little bit different. So I was watching my lovely friend Katia from Bubble of Colouring, and she was doing this awesome page from Hannah Carlson's Jewellenkister or jewellery box. I don't know how to say that properly. And she was altering it to make it a Halloween page, and I was so inspired by it that I thought I should give that a go and just have a bit of fun. I'm not an artist, so I'm not very good at drawing, but I kind of was flicking through some books trying to figure out what I could change up a bit, and I came across Johanna Basford's Small Victories. Now, Johanna doesn't really do Halloween pages, and I thought I would make a page Halloween. So in Small Victories, she's got these 4 seasonal wreaths. I've done the spring one, I haven't done any of the others. This is the autumn seasonal wreath, and I thought, well, why not make it a Halloween wreath? Just for a bit of fun. So I'm going to turn my lamp on there. Hopefully you don't get any glare. And I'm going to dive in. And, you know, this is very experimental. It might work, it might not. We'll just have a bit of fun and see how it goes. So the first thing I'm going to do is try and sketch in some little designs. So I'm thinking I want to keep some of the flowers and things in it, but I want to add some other bits and pieces. So one of the things I'm thinking of putting in is a witch's hat. So here goes nothing. So I'm kind of thinking, okay, so I'm going to kind of sketch in some ideas first and see how that goes. As I say, repeat myself, I'm not an artist, so I have no idea if this is gonna turn out, but we'll have a go. So I'm just gonna kind of sketch in. Hopefully you can see that there all right. I'm kind of thinking that this can kind of make the shape of the witch's hat, so I can kind of follow the line of the wreath there. And kind of have a bit of a pointy witch's hat. So like I say, I'm just kind of sketching them with pencil first because I have no idea what I'm doing and kind of just hoping that I can make it work. And we'd have a little buckle on there like so. Okay, that could work. A bit of a witch's hat, right? I want to put in I think I want to put a pumpkin in down here as well. So pumpkin shape. I'm trying to choose things that are relatively easy to draw and aren't too taxing because, like I say, I'm not very good at drawing. So we're just going to add a few little bits and pieces in here and there and hope for the best. I've got a pumpkin picture beside me here so I can kind of refer to it. It's in a Hannah Carlson book actually. The best rubber there. It's not very good rubber, but this is my knitting needle pencil. It says, in case of emergency, uses a knitting needle. It's kind of fun. But it was on my desk and it was nice and sharp, so I thought, well, that will work. And like I say, I am not an artist by any stretch of the imagination, but we can have a go. I kind of want to have a bit of a stalk up here. There's my pumpkin. And then I want to give him a jack-o'-lantern face to make it look more Halloween rather than just, you know, just autumn. Let me get a better up because that's going to leave a mark if I'm not careful. Or eraser if you're in the US. I know rubber is used for another term in the US, but here in the UK it's a rubber. Okay, just sketch those lines back in a little bit there. Kind of a bit of a scary pumpkin mouth and a bit of a nose. Oh. And some eyes. So I'm keeping it relatively simple. And what I'll do is I'll kind of sketch things in where I think it's going to work, and then I can white things out a little bit and change things as I go along. So what else do I want in here? I think I want another couple of pumpkins down here and make a bit of a trio of pumpkins in this bottom area. Maybe I feel like I'm just not very good at this, but it's all a bit of fun. So if it doesn't turn out great, then no biggie. It's not the end of the world, is it? So a couple of pumpkins here. And maybe another one in here. I always think things look better in threes, don't they? Maybe I might make that a bit of a taller, skinnier one, I think. Make it a slightly different shape from the others. Okay, so like I say, I'm not much of an artist, but we've got a witch's hat, we've got some pumpkins. What else can we have? Maybe like a ghost or a ghoul somewhere. That. Woo, I don't know. It's quite nerve-wracking actually. So I think I want to keep these 3 flowers here, and then keep these flowers and kind of leaves here. Have a ghost here. Do I think that's enough? Will that kind of balance it out? So I'm going to lose these. I feel like maybe I should lose. Okay, I might take that pumpkin off there. And put them over here instead and have 3 pumpkins around this area so I don't have the flowers. I think I'm just going to blank the flowers out completely. And have 3 pumpkins down there. Is that going to look all right? Okay. 3 pumpkins. I won't draw all the details into that one. Something like that. Pumpkin. I might even make these pumpkins bigger. Especially this middle one. I think it needs to be bigger. Okay, right. Sorry, we're going to start again with the pumpkins. Okay, so I'm just going to roughly sketch in a rough shape for them, and then so I'm going to have a really kind of big kind of pumpkin here to take up the space of this flower. And then I'm going to put a kind of smaller pumpkin kind of tucked into the side there. And then maybe a tall kind of skinnier pumpkin tucked in here. I'm quite aware that Johanna probably thinks really carefully about her placement of things to make it all look quite balanced, and do you know what I mean? Like, she's probably got the shape of her wreath well thought out, and yeah. Okay, let's try that. Let's try that and see. I feel quite nervous. I feel quite nervous about this, but what we're going to do is I'm going to blank out the centers. I'm going to use my Posca for that. Should I use my Posca? I never quite know what to use. Katia used her Artistro. I might grab my Artistro paint pen and try that instead. Okay, I have my Artistro paint pen. This is a water-based ink, so let's dive in. So I'm gonna blank out these lines on the witch's hat area. Hopefully you can see that. I've turned my book a little bit because I could be making a complete mess of my book here, but hey, it's a bit of fun, right? It's worth a try. So I'm kind of just gonna follow all of that. I'm gonna have to redraw in my lines for my hat, but I will have a rough shape. Oh, Katia, what have you made me do? This goes wrong, I'm blaming you. Anyway, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'm trying to convince myself that I'm not going crazy here. I'm sure it'll be fine. Do I need to kind of colour the whole thing or just do the lines? I don't know. Definitely going to have to do an extra layer here. Don't know whether to, I might just blank that whole leaf out there. And maybe I can draw in something else tucked behind that hat. So that's where the hat's going to go. Obviously I'm going to have to do a second coat of this because it's not blanking everything out properly. Okay, let's blank out the inside of my ghost and see how that's going to look. Need to a little bit more ink flowing. Oh, this is really nerve-wracking. It's really scary doing this to a book. But it's kind of why I've chosen this Small Victories book, because I feel like this book is something that I can quite happily kind of play around with and have a bit of fun with, and not feel too overly stressed about whether or not, you know, it's completely ruined. Yeah, I'm quite happy to experiment in this book. Other books I'd be far more worried about. Not that I don't like this book that's coming out wrong, but you know what I mean. It's kind of like I feel like I can live with any mistakes in this book. Okay, so there's my ghost shape blanked out. Let's do my pumpkins down here. So I'm gonna and then I think once it's blanked out, it'll be a little bit easier to see how everything's kind of gonna fit in and whether it's gonna look neat good. Yeah, I mean it's scary, but it is fun. I'm having fun, so I think that's good. Like I say, if it all goes wrong, I'm definitely blaming Katia. Do I want those little bits sticking out? I'll leave them for now. And maybe come back to them if they're not looking right. Okay, I've got this big pumpkin to do here. I'm very aware that the white paint pen is quite a different colour from the actual colour of the book. The paper in the book, rather. I'm going to blank out that line as well. Yeah, if you know what I mean. It's the paper's not white, so the paint pen is quite noticeable. But maybe once I've coloured over everything, it'll be all right. I always have trouble colouring over paint pen as well, so yeah, this could go all wrong, but hey, like I say, I'll have a little bit of fun in the process. I just was so inspired by Katia's video, and I've literally just finished watching it, and I was like, I really want to try that. So here I am trying it. And like I say, I might live to regret it, but what's the point of doing stuff if you can't have a bit of fun? But yeah, we'll see how it turns out. I might exceed expectations. I might fail miserably. Yeah, I guess if it's too bad, I don't need to post the video, do I? I can just hide it. Forget it ever happened. But yeah, like I say, I feel quite inspired. It actually takes quite a lot of work to blank all these lines out. And I can see definitely I'm going to have to go over it again because you can still see the lines through there. I'm going to blank that one out completely. I'm hoping that's all in frame. I can always come back in with my black pen and add some details if I feel like I need to like fill in some lines that have been lost. Now I want to have a stalk coming up there, so I'm going to blank that one out as well. And it gives me kind of a better idea now that I've got the lines blanked out a little bit, that I can see where things are going to go, and I think this is going to be okay. I think I need to, it's going to be a stalk kind of up here as well. I might need to blank out some of that, and then definitely need to blank out that one for sure for a stalk there. Okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do this off camera actually. I'm just going to do another coat of white paint pen to try and really get those lines disappearing, and then I'm going to come back and sketch out my design again. Okay, so I have added that second layer of paint pen. This is still a little bit wet here, but I decided to blank out this flower that was here as well and maybe extend my hat up a little bit bigger. I felt like it's a little bit small, so I feel like I need to make it slightly bigger. I might have to white some more stuff out once I've penciled that in. But I'm gonna go ahead with drawing my ghost in, and I'm going to use I don't know if this is going to work. I had a pigment liner and I cannot find it anywhere. I have this handwriting pen. I don't know if it's going to work. I've tested it on the back. It doesn't bleed through. The other option is I've got a really extra fine point Sharpie, but this one will bleed through, so I want to avoid using it if possible. So I'm going to use this and kind of hope for the best. We'll see if it's a big mistake or not. And if needs be, I can always blank out more of the line work. If necessary. We'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm worried that this is going to smudge when I do it over the white lines. I'm just gonna, I think it will be okay. So I want to do some eyes in here. It's kind of coming up grayer rather than white. But maybe when it dries it'll be okay. What do we think? I might have to go with that with the Sharpie, maybe. Maybe the Sharpie would be better. Run the risk of having a bit of bleed through on the other side. It doesn't bleed through awfully. No, it's gonna not work on that. Can always go over with a black pencil or something anyway, can't I? She says, trying to convince herself. I feel like the Sharpies may be better. This handwriting pen is coming up kind of grey rather than black, and I definitely want black lines. So I think I'm going to use the Sharpie and hope that I can salvage any bleed through on the other side. That's actually not too bad. I don't know whether that paint pen is protecting it a little bit, maybe. Okay, there's my ghost. It's very simple, but it's a ghost. We're going to add in, I'm just going to use my pencils again and kind of do my pumpkin shapes before I go in full on with the marker. And just kind of lay these in. It's kind of like drawing a beach ball, isn't it, a pumpkin? Okay, I'm gonna rub out the lines a bit there because I don't like them. And come around. And like I say, I might have to end up blanking out more. I feel like it needs a flatter bottom. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to need to get my paint pen in there again and white out these little bits here. That's okay. And then the stem. I'm going to have a slight curve that way for that one. a bit wet there, so I don't want to go all the way around. Okay, I think that's okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Katia, whatever you made me do here. That one I don't mind the shape of too much, so we're gonna draw our little pumpkin shapes in, and then I want to do jack-o'-lantern faces on them. Okay, there's my pumpkins, right. So jack-o'-lantern faces, so I want to kind of do a big grin. With some sharp teeth along the way. How does that look? Some eyes. Want it quite evil looking, I think. And a nose, of course. Okay, not too bad. Let's do one here as well. I'm hoping you can see this. It's a bit faint at the moment when I come in to do the I'll give this one kind of more less evil looking, that one a little bit nicer looking. Okay, and then my final pumpkin, oh sorry, just closed my drawer and banged my desk. And those, and I'm gonna do some eyes. Okay, so there's my 3 pumpkins. I think they're gonna look okay. I won't draw them in yet. I'm gonna do my witch, or shall I draw them in my witch hat? Let's dry now. Okay, I think that's pretty much right. So I'm gonna rub out what I can here. And so I'm going to turn this slightly so that I can get a better angle at it. And I want to make this a bit of a bigger witch's hat. I don't really want a straight line. I want it a little bit more curved. So, like I say, I might have to rub out, white out some of these leaves here. I tell you, I'm not good at drawing. I feel like that's too high as well. I'm going to make that lower. I end up making a right mess of this if we're not careful. Right. All kind of buckle in here. And then I want it curving around. Like so. I don't know, what do we think? Is it a decent witch's hat? I feel like this is still too high here. I just want it maybe more like that. I don't know, what do you think? Anyway, it's something. I don't know. Like I say, I'm not an artist. Right, I'm going to start with the witch's hat. am I happy with that? I'm not really. I don't really like it. I wish I could draw better. I'm just not very good at drawing. Let's try making this a bit less rounded and a bit more kind of straight out. Like so. Might be slightly better. I feel like my buckle's a bit high. Oh, I'm going to need some more white pen. There we go. What do I think? Okay, let's get my paint pen again and just white out some of this mess that I've made here, because I have made a right mess. I'm going to have to rub out this leaf here. I think I'll leave the bottom of it for now. I have to rub out some of this one. And these bits here as well, hopefully. And maybe just that little bit there. Okay. Okay. I feel like that's a bit of a mess. Everything else I'm quite happy with. I'm just not 100% sure about this. But let's go in. I'm going to do... Let's start with my pumpkins then while I let that bit dry. And let's draw in my pumpkins with my Sharpie. There's going to be no going back now. We're committed. Okay, sorry, interrupted by the doorbell, or maybe I should say saved by the doorbell. Right, let's try and get this drawn in. Yeah, I'm feeling quite nervous about this. It feels like quite a big thing, doesn't it? Like kind of almost like defacing a book. But I'm hoping it's going to be okay. I'm just going to colour these in black. I know I could like make them look like they were glowing, but I'm just going to colour them in black for now. Just to kind of cover up the lines and things. Okay. It's yeah. Well, it's good to be brave every now and then, isn't it? And try something new. I hope it turns out okay. The marker's struggling a little bit to go over the paint pen, but I think what I'll do is just kind of go over it with a pencil, a black pencil. Maybe a Prismacolor black will work. And just kind of make it look a little bit more solid. Okay. Let's draw in these lines. I think you can definitely tell the difference between my additions and Johanna's work. It's not hard really, is it? But yeah. Katia had hers looking much more cohesive, I feel. Like it kind of fitted in with the page. But then again, my white paint pen really stands out, I think, because of the colour of the background. Being, it's not, you know, the paper's not exactly white, so using white paint pen kind of makes it stand out a bit. anyway, it's been an adventure. It's not something I would normally do. You'll have to let me know in the comments if you feel inspired to do something like this to one of your books. I definitely urge you to go and check out Katia's video. As I said, I will leave her channel linked down below because she did such a good job on her page, and I haven't seen it finished yet. She's done the kind of added the bits in, and she's done this fantastic background with Neo Color 2s, and it's looking so good. Yeah, I feel like mine is not quite as cohesive as hers, but I don't think it's too bad. I think once I get some colour on here, it'll be quite fun. Right, apologies, I'm just going to turn this again so I can get into this last pumpkin without kind of smudging what I've done, because I don't know how long it's going to take for this kind of to dry on top of the paint pen. And the last thing I want is a big black smudge all across the book. This witch's hat is bothering me. I just feel like it's not quite right, but I really wanted to put that witch's hat in there. Again, maybe once I've coloured it, it'll look a bit better. The next thing to do is when I finish all of this, I'm going to turn the page and see how bad the bleed through, how bad the bleed through is. That's quite difficult to say. Like I say, I can always add some black pencil over this marker to try and smooth it out a bit. I think I'll probably end up using Prismacolors on this page, just because I think it will go over the white paint pen a little bit better. Okay. I need to be an artist and be actually good at drawing things. Okay, I think my pumpkins look okay. Don't look too bad. I'll fill in that little bit of leaf there. Yeah, that's all right. Okay, I'm just having a look in here to see if I need to fill in anything else or change things up a bit, but I think that's okay down there. Okay, onto the witch's hat, which I'm really not loving. I feel like I've committed to it now though, so let's just kind of dive in and hope for the best. And like I say, maybe once I start adding colour to the page, it'll kind of, I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of a dip down like that and just change it around a little bit. Don't know if that's a good thing or not, I don't know. Okay, well, it's in there now, there's no going back. There is no going back. Right, I think I want to kind of add in few little lines to make it look a little bit wrinkly. Never quite know how to do that. Okay, definitely not perfect. Definitely not. If you're looking for a drawing class, don't come to me. But we have something. We have something. Right, I'm just going to fix up these bits here. And then I feel like I need something down here. What do I need down here? I need to finish off this petal. And there's something going up there. What could that be? What could I make that into? I could do one of these little stalk things here, couldn't I? Otherwise it just kind of looks like it's floating in midair. What can I put in there to make it, to fill it out a bit? I should really pencil this in rather than just drawing it because I might end up regretting drawing it freehand. But I'll put a little leaf there and maybe just put another one coming out this side. Again, probably shouldn't just freehand it straight in because it probably looks a bit odd. But it'll do. It'll do. Right. Okay, well, we have a Halloween wreath of sorts. Now I need to think about what I'm going to do in the background. Yeah, I'd quite like to do some distress inks, but I feel like I don't think I could mask this off now. What could I do? I'm going to have a think about that for a minute and then come back to you. Let me know what you think. Okay, so I've been doing a bit of experimenting. I added a little spider into the center of my wreath. I just thought that added an element of something else to it, and I felt like it needed something else. So very rough drawing of a spider. And then I tested in the back. I was testing out some drawing gum, this stuff. I've got the Pebeo drawing gum because I wanted to see if I could mask off the paper to add distress inks, and I really don't think that's going to work. So I tried it over top of a bit of paint pen, but you can see it actually looks like it's lifting the paper. So it's kind of like tearing the top surface of the paper off. So I will not be using that in this. So I think I'm just going to try and add some distress ink, but try not to go over the lines as much as possible. I think that's the only way to do it. I could use other mediums, but I'm really keen to use my distress inks. So I think I'm just going to have to be a little bit careful about going over these areas. Maybe I could use chalk pastel instead. I don't know. I'm really keen to use my distress inks because I kind of have a vision for that. Well, I mean, what's the worst that could happen, eh? What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, I might just go for it. So I'm going to grab my distress inks out and see what we can do. It's interesting, if nothing else. Okay, let's have a play. I've masked off the edge of my other page here. I've got a backing sheet underneath. I've got Distress Oxide inks in Black Soot, a Villainous Potion, and Dusty Concord. Yeah, let's have a play. I might actually... I might actually change that. I might actually go with shaded lilac, I think. It's a bit more of a bluer purple, which is probably better, I think. So yeah, Villainous Potion, Black Soot, and Shaded Lilac. So I'm going to start with my Shaded Lilac. And I've got some smaller brushes here. I'm going to try using this littler one here. And let's see how we go. So I'm going to pick up some colour and smoosh it on there. I might end up getting some over the picture, but you know, it's okay. Hopefully I can colour it up. I think if I use some Prismacolors, I should be able to colour over most of it. And I have a colour palette in mind that I'm going to use. So yeah, I think I'm just going to go for it and hope for the best. It could end up, like I say, it could end up being a big mess, but hey ho. What are you going to do? You got to experiment, don't you? So I'm kind of going in with this lighter colour in the centre of my wreath here. And it's not covering the paint like I would hope it would, but that's okay. I think I'm going to have to add some I'll have to add some, what am I going to add? Some pencil over the top of that maybe, and that will work. But you can see there it's not sticking to the paint, which I did think would happen, to be fair. Okay, I've kind of got that centre done. This is going to be interesting. I have absolutely no idea if this is going to work or whether I'm just making a big mess. Probably the latter, but we'll persevere and see how we go. There's so many fiddly little bits with a wreath. That's the issue, isn't it? You've got to kind of get into all the little crevices to cover that background. So I'm trying to focus the lighter colour over the parts that I'm going to colour over with the pencil. And like I say, I have a colour palette in mind which is quite dark and moody, so I'm hoping that I can cover up most of this Distress Oxide ink with that. But we'll see. I could end up just making a big blob, but it's all in the name of experimentation, so it's all good. Okay, so I'm gonna, yeah, we're gonna try going in with the Villainous Potion now. Let's see how that goes. I think this one's quite juicy, so I don't want to be a little bit lighter handed. It would have been nice if I could have used that masking fluid. I think it would have been a lot easier. But I don't want to rip the paper, so yeah, let's just see how this pans out. I'm hoping I can do something over the top of this. Let's see, I might even try and use a little bit of water to kind of activate the Distress Oxide ink where I want to colour and see if I can lift it that way. It may work, it may not. And I think because that paint pen is resisting the ink, I might be able to just wipe it off those areas. I like to use Distress Oxide inks rather than Distress inks because I feel that they blend easier. You do kind of have to add quite a bit of pigment. And it's not blending great on this paper. I've never used them in Johanna's books before. And yeah, it's not blending as well as I would like. But it might be okay. We'll see. We'll see. It seems to be the story of today. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's not great paper for this, actually. Which kind of surprised me because I thought Johanna's paper being, you know, quite decent paper, I thought it would stand up to the Distress Oxide inks, but it does not seem to want to work very well. It's quite patchy and I'm struggling to get a nice smooth. You can see here, like it's not blending nice and smooth. But okay, I'm gonna grab a little bit of, oh, dropping things, cardstock here just to kind of keep my fingers out as much as possible. And I'm going to go in with the black soot now and kind of darken up some of those corners. You can see it's not laying down nicely and definitely not blending as well as I would have liked. Yeah, it's maybe this paper's got a little bit of a coating on it. I don't know. It's okay. It's just not as smooth as I would have hoped. I'm wriggling the book around all over the place, and I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing. Definitely try not to get my fingers in it too much here. I'm using a lot of ink, but it's just because it's just not blending quite the way I would have liked. I think that's going to be okay. I'm gonna come back in with, well, you can hardly see the picture. I'm really hoping this is going to work out. I'm gonna come back in with a little bit more of that villainous potion there and try and blend over that bit. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised at how little it's blending on this paper. It's really not I don't know, it's almost like the paper's resisting it a little bit. It's kind of not going on as smooth, as smooth as I would like. Rubbing the top of the pad there, which is not going to help. Okay, well, I'm hoping I can make this work. I am really hoping I can make this work. I'm gonna just add a touch of this in here. Put my fingers on it again, which is not a good idea. Okay, right. Could be a major disaster. Really could. I don't know. Or it could work out okay. So what I'm thinking of doing is I need to get some paper towel, and I'm gonna try and block up some of this ink. I'm gonna use this to begin with and just see if it's gonna rub off that paint. It's not. Yeah, it's definitely not. Okay, right. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so I decided to try and colour over it with my Prismas, and that didn't really work. I did end up going back and erasing this bit later on, but I am attempting to use Prismacolors over the top of that paint pen, and it's just not working. So I'm going to have to come up with another idea. I did persevere and try and colour everything, and it just, yeah, didn't happen. So as I said, went back and erased this later on, but I've kept it in the video so you can kind of see my process. I've sped all of this colouring up because I'm going to show colouring the wreath, and then I will, as I say, come back to these pumpkins and things later after I've erased them and try and figure out what I can use, because this just isn't working. But I do use these colours of Prismacolors on a couple of the flowers as well. So I will tell you the colours that I'm using. I've got terracotta, pumpkin orange, and orange, and I will use them as I say, on some flowers. I'm going to pop on some music. You can watch the colouring if you so wish. If you want to fast forward, of course, feel free. But like I say, I'm going to repeat myself again. I did attempt to colour these things with the Prismacolors, the parts that I had used the white paint pen on, but it just didn't work. And I have gone back and erased all of this later on. And if you want to, you can fast forward and see how I try and approach colouring in those objects. So you can see here I have rubbed out the pencil that was on over that white paint pen, and I have actually touched up the ghost with a bit more white paint pen just to make it a bit crisper and clearer after adding the ink over the top. And now I'm just continuing with those dark grey dark grey pencils even. These are the Prismacolors in 90% cool grey, 70% cool grey and 30% cool grey. And I'm going to colour everything, all the leaves and everything in this colour combination, and I think it works quite well with this background. And then I'm going to come back and try and figure out what to do with my whited out areas and see if I can find something that's going to work to cover those up. show this. This is another Artistro paint marker. I thought I might as well use the same kind of marker. This is number 37A. Oh, it's not. It's 83A. I lie. 83A, which is this orangey color. And yeah, I'm going to use it to fill in my pumpkins. And I might end up doing a couple of coats of this. Just to see if we can use it as a bit of a base color on my pumpkins. And I'll end up going over all of the black lines because they're gonna disappear a bit. But I think this will give a nice base, and it might be better than trying to color over with pencil onto this kind of messy background I've got going on here. Let's see, it's all kind of trial and error. Like I say, I've never done anything like this before in my life. So it's a learning curve, and it's fun to have a little play and an experiment because, you know, it keeps life interesting, if nothing else. So I think this is going to work a lot better. And then when I put the pencil over the top, I might, like I said, do 2 coats of this and then do a little bit of pencil shading over the top. And then I shouldn't need to do as much pencil shading because that orange base color will already be there. So yeah, I think that's probably going to work out a lot better for me than just going in with the pencils, because that really wasn't working as well as I would have liked. And just looking at this, I'm definitely going to do 2 coats of this and then the pencil over the top, and then once everything's done, I'll come back in with my black marker pen and my black Sakura glaze pen and add the details back again that have kind of been lost a little bit. But yeah, I think that's going to work a lot better. Maybe I should have done this on the flowers as well. I kind of like the moody looking flowers. I don't think they look too bad. And I think this way your eye will be more drawn to the pumpkins, which is kind of cool. And then I think I'll do the same with the witch's hat, but I'll use purples for that. So I'm going to go back to putting some music on while I finish this off, and then I can speed this up and you can, yeah, follow along, and then I'll be back with the pencils shortly. Okay, so here I tried to use my Polychromos pencils to add some shading to the witch's hat, but no matter how gently I pressed, the paint pen underneath was just flaking off, and I wasn't having much luck. So I abandoned that and decided that I would try using paint pens to add shading instead, which I think turned out a lot better. Before I do that, I did try a black polychromo, so I tried my purple one, but yeah, it just wasn't working. And then I went to my black Sakura glaze pen again and sharpened up the details on my pumpkin, which you'll see here in a second. And then decided, as I said, to try out my paint pens to do the shading on the witch's hat. Okay, so I'm having a bit of trouble adding pencil over top of my witch's hat in particular. I'd had a little bit of trouble on the pumpkins, but I think I've managed to add enough there that it's okay. But my witch's hat is I'm really struggling to get shading on there. Just going to spin this around. I know it's upside down, but this is still a little bit damp with Jelly Roll glaze. And I'm just going to use a darker paint pen to try and add some shadows to my witch's hat rather than using pencil, because the pencil is just flaking off and I think it's just going to end up looking worse. So I'm going to add a shadow with a darker paint pen and hope for the best. I don't think it's going to look quite as cohesive as I would have liked, but it's okay. It is what it is, eh? Like, I can't get this perfect, but it's been quite fun to do this today. So, let's have a look. I'm going to go in under that brim. But yeah, it's just literally the paint is just flaking off. I think because I've got a couple of layers down there now, probably about 4 layers of paint. It's just not playing ball when I want to add pencil over the top. So we're just going to have to come in with our paint pen, and it won't look perfect, but hopefully it will be okay. And then I think when that's dry again, I will I'll try and add a little bit of the black pen around it again to try and make it stand out. So I should just cut that out so I can keep the colours on screen. Yeah, I'm also not particularly happy with this area, but again, I'm not 100% sure how to fix that because I can't find a pencil that's the right shade and the paint is kind of lifting off. So this area of my page I'm not loving. The rest of it I think is looking okay. Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm gonna grab my white paint pen again here and just see if I can add a few highlights to disguise bits and make it look a little bit more smooth. I don't know. I don't know if that's the right word. But you can see there's bits of paint flaking off in areas, so I figure if I add the white paint it might just kind of help disguise it a little bit. I don't know, it's quite thick looking, isn't it? Maybe just add a little bit on the stems. I don't know. A little bit on the hat to make it look a little bit more three-dimensional. Yeah, I mean it's not perfect, but it is what it is. Like I say, I'm going to come back in and try and add some black lines when this is all dried off. And then I might add one other element. From watching Katia's page, she did some cool spider webs on hers, and I really liked the look of it. And it might help disguise this mess here. But yeah, I'm going to let that dry for a second. I'll be back. Okay, so I've done some stuff off camera there, so I kind of forgot to turn my camera back on. But all I've done is I've gone round the outside of my hat and my pumpkins and my ghost with paint pens. I've used black on the hat and the pumpkins and white on the ghost, just to kind of make them stand out a little bit more. My white paint pen is running like crazy. So I just wanted to kind of have those things stand out, and kind of everything else kind of blends in a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, that's that. I've got one more thing that I really want to do, which is add a spider web in, but again, I'm going to wait for that to dry and then come back to this in a second. Okay, so I've been debating whether to do one big spider web or do multiple small ones. I've decided I'm going to try do one big one. I'm really hoping this works. I'm using a Pentel Slicky pen. This is a relatively new kind of metallic gel pen in silver colour. And I'm going to use a ruler to try and get it right. So I'm kind of just going to draw a line across in between all the elements. I don't want to kind of go over the elements because I want it to look like the spider web is behind. My ruler is not the best. And yeah, just see if I can draw the spider web in and not have it too yeah, so I don't know whether I'm going to have to wait for it to dry in between. I'm not I don't want to rub the gel pen, but I'm not very patient either. So we'll try and go for it. I'm hoping you can see this and it's not too glary. I've decided to go with silver because I thought it would kind of give a nice kind of look to it and kind of look a little bit magical. But let's see how it goes. Oh goodness, that wasn't very good, was it? Ooh, I don't know. I'll do one down the middle. My ruler's not the best. I think somebody's been using it with a sharp knife and kind of cut the edge of it. This edge is probably slightly better. Okay. I don't know whether one big spider web was the way to go, but I'll give it a go. And I've got a horrible fly buzzing around my craft room. I can't get rid of it. And I don't know what it's doing because it's not summer anymore, but it's like, doesn't want to go. Okay, I'll put one across the middle here. Sure, it's quite hard to see actually where the little bits are. If I get the main lines in, then I can always add some if I need to. Okay, I think that's going to look all right. So now we just need to kind of draw some lines around to make it look like a spider's web. I'm not the best at doing this Katia's page, like I said, it looks absolutely amazing. I haven't seen it finished yet, but her background is just incredible. And I've been really impressed with it. So be sure to go and check out her channel and see what she's done, because she has done this awesome job. And I just think it like I said, it was so inspiring that I couldn't resist doing my own kind of page, quite similar. Not the same, but I've definitely taken lots of ideas from Katia. And also just the fact that I've been brave enough to do this, because I probably wouldn't have if I hadn't watched her video. So I am quite pleased that I have done that. It's nice to step out of your comfort zone every now and then and try something new. I think I've kind of gone off kilter there a little bit, but I'm hoping this is gonna look okay. I think that's looking all right. It's a little off center, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe the wreath's slightly off center. Where do I go here? I don't want to add too much in here. I think it's going to look okay. It's quite hard to kind of get it to look like it's all even. It's hard to kind of figure out where the lines go behind all of this stuff. Kind of want it to get bigger as it goes out, if that made the gaps get bigger as it goes out. I think we'd kind of miss that bit there. This there. Going right through that leaf there. Okay, it's not too noticeable. I've missed some leaves there as well that I haven't coloured. I'll have to go back in and colour those. I feel like it's a little bit weird looking, but yeah, my cobweb definitely needs some work. I think that'll do. I think it's okay. Not brilliant, but it's all right. Yeah, I've missed these two little leaves here. I've just seen them as I've been drawing my cobwebs in there. So I'm going to add those in there with my Prismacolors again. It's the cool grey, 90%, 70% and 30%. Just add those in there. With that darkest one, and I'm calling it quits. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I'm actually a lot happier with it than I thought I would be. I think it's turned out okay. I think there are elements that could definitely use improvement, but it was a lot of fun. And like I say, it was kind of good to push myself out of my comfort zone a little bit and try something new and different. And yeah, for the most part, I think it's okay. I'm gonna just switch that lamp off for a sec, so hopefully you can get a better view without all the glare and see how it looks. But yeah, so it was a lot of fun and I enjoyed it. Like I say, it's not perfect. This bit in particular is looking a bit ropey, but I really enjoyed it. I will try and put an image up here on screen to show you the before and the after, so you can see the difference and the alterations that I made to this page. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Katia, for the inspiration, the idea. I really enjoyed doing this. And overall pretty happy with how it's turned out, and definitely had a lot of fun. So I hope you all enjoyed that one, and yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Will you be trying this technique? I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care. Bye.